We love our sponsors like East San Gabriel Valley, ROPTC, and sponsor us, and we will promote you on the show too. Now on for the Morning Buzz, we have some topics coming up in regards to
Hillary.
The emails just aren't going to go away, but people can't stand talking about them. I think that's why they're also being shoved under the carpet. Mike Pence thinks that they should be brought to the foreground.
Yeah, so he's kind of saying that he wants further investigation of Hillary Clinton, he's saying that there was political favors being done. So with us we have Steve Lamb from the Center of Urban Politics. To join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine a more corrupt situation where you have someone who's got a worldwide global not-for-profit that takes donations from kings and potentates from foreign countries, who's also the Secretary of State at the same time.
But she didn't deal with them directly.
Yeah, my head's not bald. I'm just not buying that. Certainly she knew, she had knowledge, because there was really no other reason to keep the server secret and hidden, and apart from the State Department and where it was not able to be accessed by the Freedom of Records Act. And it's obvious that she was doing that so that these dirty deals would not come to light.
Do you think people are so sick of hearing about it that they just don't believe it anymore, or that
sweep it under the rug and
they're just ready to move on because they're bored of hearing about it? So do you think that's why she's
No, I
not
think there's a deep rip in the American psyche. I think people expect this to be a nation of laws, and by Hillary continuously not being prosecuted for her obvious misdoing, it just rips at the very soul of most Americans who believe in this country. And I think they just can't bear it. They can't stand to look at it and to know how incredibly corrupt and third world and banana republic-like their country's become.
Well, I think the other thing that's so interesting too is how many people wind up dead near the Clintons, and that just can't be a coincidence.
Lyndon Johnson's embarrassed at how ineffective he was. It can't be a coincidence. It's, someone's got this joke of the FBI director and a meme that's running around Facebook that says, I was going to indict you, but I decided I didn't want to commit suicide. And, it's very coincidental that everyone who's near the Clintons who could rat on them or might rat on them or might be inclined to rat on them just happens to end up dead.
So what do you think the death toll will be at the end of the election?
Probably just for the election period or for the whole. We're already up to like almost 70 people who've been associated with the Clintons over the last 30 years who've died, but we're at 6 or 7 this election cycle.
Can you put that kind of a list together for anybody else other than maybe Lyndon Johnson?
Well, Lyndon Johnson's list is much shorter. It's only about 5 people.
But can you put that kind of string, that commonality of any other candidate together?
I can't think of anyone who's not mafia who has that kind of string of associates who've mysteriously died.
Do you think that's why things get shoved under the carpet too? Because ultimately becomes you're afraid for your family or yourself.
You're afraid for your family and yourself, and one of the other issues is a lot of the people who are in high media positions now are married to people who are working for Hillary directly. And so they're kind of part of the whole interconnected web of corruption.
It's always interesting too watching Stephanopoulos.
I think Stephanopoulos, he had something happened to him. He had a wake up, because he realized at some point that, hey, I'm involved in this criminal enterprise and this is really wrong. And he left the Clinton White House, and he has not been very friendly to them.
Interesting. Steve Lamb, thank you so much for being on
today. Thank you, Mary. It's
Appreciate
a pleasure.
It. We'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Up next, we are going to talk about Pokemon Go, because it is still going.
I know. It's going in all kinds of directions. We have our very own Jordan is going to spotlight some interviews on that